I'm Larry Pratt with Gun Owners of America. You're watching the Reality Report.
Hello and welcome to the 31st edition of the Reality Report on Freedom.tv. I'm Gary Franchi. Well, teabaggers, you've been officially hijacked. I hope you're happy about that, because I'm not. Now let's get a few things straight here. This show is not for Republicans, nor Democrats, or Libertarians, or Socialists. It's for Americans, plain and simple. And if you can agree that the founding documents our forefathers drafted are the documents that should be followed as the law of the land, then you're watching the right show. See, we're not here to chase Andrew Napolitano around, hoping he covers a story, or to kneel at the feet of the Pied Piper Glenn Beck. In fact, we loathe Fox News, CNN, and the rest of the corporate-controlled media. But I digress. You see, you have allowed a pure grassroots movement to be slowly overrun by neocon Republican pundits. It has been taken from the pure and true American people. The Tea Party movement is now on track to be totally absorbed by the neo-Republican Party line. Well done. But you know what? You see, I saw this coming, and I warned you. I warned you the moment Glenn Beck decided to embrace Ron Paul because he saw the power and truth in his message. You see, he saw it as a new demographic, a sector of the population that he could exploit. So what does he do? He launches the 9/12 Project and adjusts his message to be more pro-freedom and calls for a march on Washington. Then the Tea Party Express national tour kicks off with Republican talking points emblazoned on the side of the bus. Where were our talking points? Where was Ron Paul? Where was J. Edward Griffin? Where was Thomas Woods? Where was Bob Schultz? You see, they weren't invited. Where were the real leaders of the freedom movement? Well, you know what? I will tell you. You see, they were quietly working to advance the message while the corporate media machine slowly absorbed only the points of their message that sounded good and maintained the status quo. You see, we have been on point long before Glenn Beck and Fox News decided to co-opt the freedom message. In fact, the first Tea Party wasn't even during the Ron Paul presidential campaign. It was Saturday, December 16th, 2006, when a group of Americans decided to reject the 9/11 Commission report and throw it into Boston Harbor. That's right, the modern-day Tea Party movement was founded by 9/11 truthers. Now, why is that so important? It's important because during the heart of the Bush administration, when the whole nation was running lockstep to the drumbeat of war and allowing our constitutional rights to be trampled upon by the Patriot Act, these people, those who would dare to question the official story of 9/11, were even then standing in the face of opposition and fighting for our freedom. Then comes along Barack Obama, the freshman senator from the most corrupt city in the nation, and Fox News picks up Glenn Beck from CNN. The perfect storm was brewing to co-opt the freedom message. A nation desperate for a voice other than that of the polarizing Obama latches onto Beck, who notably lifted talking points from our own website. I nearly puked the day I saw the Fox News bumper where Glenn Beck told me to restore the Republic. So what do we do now? Deep pocket Republican money is being dumped into the Tea Party movement. National conventions are being planned with big ticket speakers and price tags that exclude the real grassroots activists. Our own leaders are even being excluded from speaking at these events. Now, more than ever, we need to amp up our game and ensure that our talking points are on display at every single rally. We need to reject any and all attempts for another national convention. We need to reject the pundits, the politicians, and the Pied Pipers that they march before you. It's a bait and switch. We need to reject their national leadership. These people are funded from inside the Beltway, and I need you. I need you to fight with me and the real grassroots. And let's focus on these objectives. We need to stop the polarization of America. Stop the domination of the Democratic and Republican parties over our political system. We need to shut down the Federal Reserve System. We need to return America's gold to Fort Knox and have it audited. We need to have Congress and the IRS in a public forum reveal the law that requires Americans to pay a direct, unapportioned tax on their labor. We need to make computerized voting illegal in all 50 states. We need to keep the internet free and out of the control of large institutions. We need to rescind the law called the Real ID Act so Americans never have to carry a national ID card. We need to make it illegal to implant RFID chips in human beings. We need to educate juries to the fact that they have the right to determine the law as well as the facts of a case. We need to educate juries to the fact that they are not obligated to follow the instructions of a judge. We need to stop globalization because it is the path to a one-world government. We need to protect our borders, restore the environment, put an end to the Patriot Act, and sign up millions of Americans so that we can accomplish our objectives. Yeah, you can tell I'm not really happy about the way things are going these days. All right. Coming up on tonight's edition of the Reality Report, the economy, yeah, well, it's still crumbling. Mass groups of CEOs are resigning. States are fighting the federal government. And the Obama administration is actually questioning the legality of assassinating Americans? Can you believe that? I'm in shock, actually. I have to read those words. But anyway, we have the full details. Plus, we continue our exclusive coverage from the biometrics conference in Washington, D.C. that I attended, and footage from the Charles Key interview from the film Don't Tread on Me. Also, last weekend's Super Bowl was the most viewed television event ever. But in case you missed it, we're going to showcase one commercial that is definitely putting some subliminal conditioning impressions into the mindset of Americans. Something I've been warning about. And later tonight, we will be branding one unlucky American an enemy of the state in our new segment. That's right. It's coming up at the tail end of the show. You don't want to miss it. And, hey, we got so much more. We've even got a music video. I'm going to quit rambling. We're going to jump to this break, and we'll be right back.
My name is Marcy Brooks, and I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana.
Hi, I'm Joe Bannister.
I'm Ed Griffin from Southern California.
I'm Ron Paul. This is Tom Mullen from Tampa, Florida.
I'm Colonel Bob Bowman from Melbourne, Florida.
I'm Jordan Page. I'm from Annapolis, Maryland.
I'm Thomas Woods from Auburn, Alabama.
I'm Ernest Hancock from Phoenix, Arizona.
I'm Mark Sibilia from Buffalo, New York.
I'm Charles Goyette.
And you're watching.
And you're watching.
And you are watching.
And you're watching.
And you're watching.
Watching.
And you're watching.
And you're watching. And you're watching.
And you're watching.
Freedom.
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 Freedom. Freedom.
Freedom.
Freedom.
Freedom. Freedom.
Freedom.
You're watching Freedom.tv.
Americans, mobilize. Stand together, stand tall. Tell the government you're mad as hell. No longer cooperate with the government. Do not accept the national ID card. Do everything in your power to restore freedom and your individuality back to America. Stop being a country run by the institutions for the institutions. Let's go back to we the people, by the people, for the people, as opposed to we the institution, by the institution, for the institution. Stand up for your individual rights. Stand up for the godliness that's in each and every one of us.
All right, welcome back to the Reality Report, your home for independent news unspoiled from corporate influence. You know, it has been well documented that animals often seem to sense major disasters before they occur. The investigators at deprogram.net have unearthed a strange trend that has been developing since the break of the new year. In the last month, more than 150 high-ranking officials have offered resignations from their positions. Is it possible that these public officials know something that we don't know? This ranges from banking and corporate CEOs to public officials and law enforcement officers. Now we're calling on more investigators to cross-reference these individuals to see if there are any ties to supranational organizations such as the Bilderberg Group, the Bohemian Grove, the Trilateral Commission, the Council on Foreign Relations, and the like. This is a very frightening trend. We don't have all the facts here, but we need your help to connect the dots on this one.